Let's talk about sleep. Almost all animals experience sleep, an altered state of consciousness in which the sleeper loses most contact with the external world. But why do we sleep? What are sleep's functions? One theory of sleep is that sleep may help us recuperate, restoring and repairing brain tissue. When we are awake, we produce a lot of free radicals, molecules that are toxic to neurons. During sleep, the neurons can repair themselves. During sleep, we see the strengthening of neural connections, important for establishing memories, and we also see the pruning of unused neuronal networks. So sleep serves a number of functions, others of which are to promote creative problem solving and to facilitate learning. Research has shown that after working on a task and then sleeping on it, people solve problems more insightfully than do those who stay awake. For example, a study by Nader in 2003 measured college students' ability to recognize words produced in a mechanical, robotic way. The words emitted from a synthesizer, they were difficult to understand at first, but people could be trained to figure out the pattern of sounds and learn to improve. This might be similar to learning to understand someone with a foreign accent. Participants were randomly assigned to groups, and one group was trained at 9 a.m. and tested for improvement at 9 p.m. The experimental group was trained at 9 p.m. and then tested at 9 a.m. Results indicated that those who slept after their training showed a significantly higher improvement in scores than the control group, which supports the theory that sleep facilitates learning. Sleep might strengthen and improve access to relevant memories. So, should you sleep on it? Not literally on your books, but yes, getting a good night's rest is probably a better idea than pulling an all-nighter. So, what are sleep stages? As we sleep, we pass through a cycle of sleep stages that typically total about 90 minutes. We see beta waves when we are awake and alert. As we lie awake and then feel relaxed before we sleep, our EEG shows relatively slow alpha waves. Then we actually fall asleep and enter what is called stage N1. The N stands for non-REM, and sleep at this stage is light, and it's characterized by slow breathing and irregular brain waves called theta waves. Sometimes during N1 sleep, the person will experience wild images called hypnagogic sensations that have a hallucinogenic quality. The person may not believe that they were asleep, so if you wake them up now, they may deny having been asleep. When people report being abducted by aliens during the night, the suspicion is that they were in N1 sleep, although the person will probably report that they were awake and the abduction really happened. Have you ever been drifting off to sleep and then suddenly jerked or felt like you were falling? This is called a hypnic jerk and sometimes happens in this first stage of sleep. So stage 2 sleep, the stage in which we spend the most time, follows about 20 minutes later with its characteristic sleep spindles. These are bursts of brainwave activity, and K complexes. These are large waves. This shows the brain has to really work to keep the person asleep. The person is clearly asleep now, and disorders like sleepwalking and talking can occur now or in later stages. In stage N3 sleep, the brain emits large, slow delta waves. People in deep sleep are hard to wake, but even during deep sleep, we are processing information. We don't roll out of bed, typically. We will pull up the covers if you're cold. You see the secretion of growth hormones here. This is GH from the pituitary gland. And then rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep. That's the stage of sleep in which the eyes move rapidly under the eyelids, and the person is typically experiencing a dream. Body temperature increases to near waking levels. The eyes move rapidly under the eyelids. The heart beats much faster, and brain waves resemble beta waves, the kind of brain activity that usually signals wakefulness. So if wakened during REM, you almost always report a dream. So if you don't remember your dream when you wake up, you might not be waking up in REM sleep. This may, in fact, indicate some level of sleep deprivation since the sleep cycle changes throughout the night, leading to greater time spent in REM sleep as morning approaches and fewer minutes in deep sleep as the night progresses. The sleep cycle repeats several times during a normal night's sleep, with the periods of N3 sleep progressively shortening and periods of REM sleep lengthening. The cycle repeats itself about every 90 minutes, and the number of cycles you experience depends on the number of hours you sleep that night. But the cycle isn't static or the same every night for every person. For example, in the lab, you will see increased amounts of REM sleep in people if you deprive them of REM sleep on earlier nights. Some research also indicates that people who have spent a great deal of their day immersed in some mental activity, like students during finals week, will spend more time in REM sleep than people who spent a day engaged in some strenuous physical activity, like running a marathon. These people will spend more time in deep sleep.